though pretty well. NaDa has a pretty decent number of Goliaths everywhere, so they're going to be able to completely take out the interceptors. Of course, carriers are very vulnerable if you kill all of the interceptors. You need a very large mass of carriers, which JangBi at this point does not have. He does have a decent amount of interceptors for all of his carriers, but Goliaths, especially with Terran boosters and weapons upgrades, do such a good job against interceptors. You've got to be very careful now. NaDa just trying to put turrets everywhere to prevent those interceptors from doing too much damage. Again, interceptors are moving in, and I think Goliaths should be in location fairly soon. Going to try to start engaging all these interceptors. A bunch of blue trail flames everywhere as they try to engage all the ground forces. 2 weapons upgrades now for the ground forces of JangBi, so he's trying to equalize this as much as he can. Now moving it with Zealot, but actually going to move back because pretty good tank line there from NaDa. Now those carriers thought of engaging, but overall not doing a too good job because the Goliaths have weapons to go in, and they kill so many interceptors that way. Some Goliaths trying to engage some Zealots, trying to engage some Goliaths, but instantly going to walk into death. Pretty decent amount of carriers by JangBi there. I think it's 5 or 6 at this point. Has weapons 1 for his air, but overall that's not really going to help him too much against those Goliaths because the Goliaths going to be able to kill the interceptor very quickly. So NaDa did a pretty good job overall. Very versatile army. Now has 2-2, and this is probably the position where NaDa wants to be. Knows that he's not going to have this 2-2 advantage for too long, so he needs to push as soon as he can because JangBi at this point, his Grand Force still only have two weapons. And again, trying to move out towards this line of clock. There's actually an Archon there being dropped by JangBi into the SCV line. I think NaDa could be actually in some serious trouble. He needs to really do some sort of economic damage and just take out armies. There's so many interceptors now out there flying around. Goliath trying to engage them as well as he can. Command center is actually going to go down. Just not enough Goliaths to prevent the command center from going down. All the SCVs trying to repair the command center. Command center might actually stay alive. They're doing a pretty good job repairing it. Now there's interceptors trying to engage the Goliaths, but far too many Goliaths there. A lot of interceptors will lose their life. Well, life. Okay, little AI robots dying. Now again, Zealot's trying to engage, but Vulture's in pretty good position. I'll get killed. So that command center actually did manage to stay alive. Good job by NaDa, moving his Goliaths in time. Again, now a bunch of interceptors are going to engage all the ground forces, trying to take out the tanks, and Goliaths are in pretty good position. Thing is that NaDa needs to do more than simply take out all the interceptors. He needs to take out the carriers as soon as he takes out the intercept. Again, those interceptors are going to be able to take out all ground forces so well. Storm's also going off into the mix. Just trying to take out as many of those Goliaths as he can. Again, going to move towards this 9 o'clock location. NaDa has been having that harassed so much. He's meanwhile trying to establish the 12 o'clock position. And JangBi doing a pretty good job overall. Going to see what NaDa tries to do here. Again, going to engage some carriers here with some Goliaths. Doesn't have that many Goliaths in this force, though. Tanks going to siege up. Going to engage these Dragoons. Going to see whether he manages to push in or not. This 9 o'clock position is in jeopardy. He has so many SCVs mining there, though. And it's going to be very difficult for him if he loses that location. A lot of the Goliaths now going to engage. Storm going off on a bunch of the Goliaths that probably going to try to engage these Dragoons, trying to move in close. Something engaging. Storm's going off on all these SCVs, and wow. Look at the death. Look at the death of those Storms brings. That Archon with 12 kills overall. Most of those coming from Storms, I assume. Now, this Interceptor is going to engage some tanks that are just on the ground. This is especially what those carriers are so good for. They can just kill all ground for, especially tanks, because they can do nothing against them. Completely helpless. I think JangBi is actually slowly just winning this match. NaDa just can't move back into this. He's going to have to do some sort of damage. I'm going to see. He might actually try to suicide in. JangBi has established bases all over the place, and those bases have not been harassed, and that's what NaDa has needed to do. He's just not managing to harass. He's actually now going to move towards the 6 o'clock location. I fear for him that he might be leaving his own bases pretty vulnerable now that one tank in the middle is actually getting taken down. Meanwhile, now NaDa's going to move towards the 6 o'clock. He should be managed to penetrate this and take it down. There are some carriers, meanwhile, going to move into the defense. There's plenty of Goliaths there, though, to help that. Now, a bunch of the probes are going to be engaged there, but the base is actually mined out from what I see. So it's going to be completely inconsequential. Not the best location there for NaDa, but NaDa pretty much doing a pretty good job. Again, trying to take out as many of the interceptors as he can, losing some forces along the way, of course. Doing a pretty good job overall of trying to dwindle the interceptor count. Interceptors being so dangerous. And again, getting his 9 o'clock harassed. He lost so many SCVs from the 9 o'clock, and now again, almost could lose his command center at this 9 o'clock again, being forced to repair it so badly. And a bunch of the SCVs is going to move off the line, going to try to run away because the command center is pretty much shot. And JangBi, I think at this point, has already won this game, so never mind. There was not weapons 1 upgrades for the interceptors, just the interceptor count Dummy for me. I'm not even sure if Industry just get weapons upgrades. Bah. Now Tank's going to move in towards another look expansion of JangBi's, but Dark Temple are going to engage those, take those out. Just overall not nearly or any economic harassment done by NaDa. NaDa now has weapons 3 and armor 2. Those Goliaths again engaging a bunch of those carriers, trying to push them back. And Storm's meanwhile coming off on JangBi's side of the mix, killing off a lot of ground forces. And NaDa's Goliaths have been dwindled down to a very small force. He's lost his 9 o'clock. His 12 o'clock was established rather late. He has almost no mining at all. His main is dead. His natural's dead. Almost. His mineral only is dead. And he has only mining at the 12 o'clock. I think NaDa at this point has already lost this game. JangBi has meanwhile just been aggressively expanding everywhere. And I think we're just seeing the look on NaDa's face as he loses again. GG from NaDa. And JangBi's going to move on. So, oh man, NaDa with a dejected look on his face, putting his face in his hands. So, too bad, really. So neither of the old legends, Savior or NaDa, neither of the old Banjuas managed to move past the quarterfinals. And I know that NaDa was very, very desperate to try to win this MSL, but unfortunately for him, he had JangBi ahead of him, the PVT monster. So JangBi moves on to the semifinals, and I really look forward to seeing who it is that he faces there. So, later, guys. Till Saturday, I guess. Saturday or Sunday or whatever. Stork and for GG. Another PVT goodness. Sad to see NaDa go, but what are you going to do? So JangBi just don't play him this time, unfortunately. So, GG guys overall, and I'm out of here.